to see unfold.
I'd rather watch
Again.
you, John. I'd rather look at you.
Yeah, well,
No
you can't have
TP,
everything you
please.
want, Mike. No trash talk. Where's my voice line? Hey, Ovid! Hey! Use it against Talon. That's the secret. See, Talon, no one on Talon, old roster and you ever listens to me when I say use the voice lines. They never do.
How dare they?
But these guys on Blacklist, Carlo, Abed, they use the voice lines.
After your unyielding bias throughout the years, Jonathan, they still won't buy the voice line. Gabby's gonna get jumped here, top lane. Can they finish him off? There's a lot of damage coming up for poor old Gabby, and it seems like they've got him. Gabby, he is down. First blood being drawn here by Ponyo and Talon. Then they must have been listening, Jonathan.
that they must have. They prove a point. They go in, they bully out Gabby, setting up a decent start. First blood to Ponyo, maybe not the ideal, but at the very least, Trent can start with some extra items on hand. Really nice early wards enable that, like this ward on the mid-river area and onto the triangle cliff. Does enable that play. Still trying to play tag, but they will get the tree for one trade as well. So first blood with 3 bounty runes, that does feel a lot better for Talon, and that sets a good tone. As we do break into those lanes, taking a peek down bot, where WS and Jokam will head down on that Primal Beast and Rubik. They are laning into Carlo on the AA and Raven on the Raid King, and this lane, again, for the Raid King, can be a pretty kill-heavy lane. Once you have level 2 value point in your Raid Fire Blast, tie that in with a Cold Feet, you can try to melt these heroes down. Level 3 feels a lot better as well, but this is still a melee lane matchup into Primal Beast, and that can always feel mildly awkward. Like, we've seen WS, again, do this before. One good lift back into an onslaught trample, and, well, even a tanky hero like the Raid King can get bursted down in that laning phase.
No, absolutely. Of course, you're looking at top lane as well, and mid lane where Abed and Yoe are going at it. Now, Abed, of course, sort of making his reappearance in SCA, whether he likes it or not by the sounds of it, is he's going to be going up against Yoe. Yoe playing, he's not even playing a real hero here, dude. He's got the Pangolier up against Abed. Poor old Yoe. We'll see how he can do here, but for now, Abed seems to be having a very good time.
Yeah, to be expected. The Kunkka can just harass much more frequently, and then the Pango can burn through even that shield crash, HP barrier quite nicely, and Yoe has to play really smart, and this is a lot more intensive for the Pangolier. You have to time your swash, time your shield crash really well. Try to find as much farm as you can, but when it comes to HP trades, Abed will always be on top. I'm wondering how high priority we will see the runes come out, because I feel like Talon's, especially in yesterday's games, Talon has been pretty on point in enabling Yoe to find every single power rune come 6-minute mark. So that's probably the one differentiating factor here. We'll see just how well the side of Blacklist can kind of handle that. I was about to say Shopify, because I've been, you know, Pavlovianly trained to refer to Abed by Shopify. I think that's what it is.
It was an era, Jonathan. It's over now. It is over.
You know, it's funny. Since they moved to C, right? The SR could be Shopee Rebellion.
Oh, it's terrible. Bottom lane, third
Hey.
What is this, John?
What do you mean it's terrible? It's Shopee. You don't see those ads? Oh, you don't have any. Australia's a different land, Mike.
Yeah.
You guys don't have all that fun stuff.
No, certainly. Top lane Akashi. He's having a decent old time. So is Gabby, to be fair. Doesn't really feel like the pressure's really being applied to the Naga Siren. Kashi, I mean, he's burned through his region, but apart from that, it's still a pretty safe lane for him with the Naga Siren, and it seems like he should have a pretty decent time.
Yeah, not too much pressure you can really fully expect out here from Gabby, especially as his mana starts to run low. He's doing a great job of just dropping Kashi down, but with a magic wand, you're pretty safe. They have cut the tree line, which you always like to see up against Green Protectors, but you can look at Ponyo. Again, he doesn't even bother with living armor. He wants to go offensive. They know if they can take away Gabby's mana and try to force him to burn that Mango and Lotus, they're in a good spot to try to find an opportunity. But even without that, just the stable farm for Akashi does set a good tone. Like, you're not ahead by much, but you can dip into the jungle with relatively little farm anyway and start to clear out multiple camps to scale up really fast here.
Abed and Yoe really going at it now. This mid lane getting a little bit spicier as time goes on. So Garbed and Yoe both going to be completely out of regen, relying on the bottles now at that almost the 4-minute mark. So Water Roots are incoming. Meanwhile, top lane though, Gabby ends up killing off Ponyo, but Akashi does get revenge for him. So you get yourself a kill, but you give up a much bigger kill to the POS1 Nagasar.
Yeah, it feels pretty alright for Talon to trade that way. Again, a bit of a freebie coming out for Akashi to again kind of build in on that Naga, already having a pretty good time. Like, this is not going to be the easiest first back lane, though.
Yeah, Jokam's going to drop down to the bot lane. Nice easy pick off onto the Rubik. Just the Wraith Fire Blast and the Cold Feet holding him in place. There's not really much Jokam could have done about it. So 2-2 so far. Pretty even start for both these sides. No real rotations being made to mid lane. It seems like both sides are more than happy to allow Arbed and Yoe to just do their thing. Suppose you don't really have the best supports for roaming into that mid anyway. Apart from maybe refilling the bottle, which Jokam does do now for Yoe. It seems like Yoe is having a much more challenging time now. Like, Arbed's really just pressuring him out of the laning stage. And he's going to be very cautious in that Pengalier. One more Tidebringer hit would do the trick. It is that stage for the Pango where against Kunkka you can't really remain. You know, it's a bit too much damage now.
That it is. He has his full Orb Corrosion, so he can trade maybe a little bit better with the Swash. Is at least backing off right before the 6-minute rune spawn, so he can go and try to fight for that. It doesn't look like the supports are set up on Talon's end to kind of leave their side lanes right now to help out in that cause, as they are clumping up bot. See a bit of a movement out from Ponyo. Wants to play with that Leech Seed and Nature's Raspberry.
Go. On lane, Raven dropping extremely low on the Wraith King. Trying to run, will not be able to make it though. Talon able to secure a huge kill onto Raven, but off the back of WS. That's that one's gonna hurt for Black. You don't really enjoy seeing that POS1 Wraith King die like that.
No, he's starting to lag a little bit behind. Akashi is already playing in the jungle, so he doesn't really care about being left alone. That does give room for Gabby to farm up, but again, it's a Bristleback that's still trying to catch up. It's not a major threat yet. You have the Vanguard up. Yoe does rotate out. He did not camp around for the 6-minute rune, so Abed will find a shield rune, but was wanting to be active with a Rolling Thunder. And this movement down bot, this emphasis on Raven is pretty big. He's still a ways off from 6. Even if he had 6, you really don't like going for the reincarnation. They will break it off though. Just go back to their lanes and try to just keep building up. I don't know, like this kind of movement, even though it does look like wasted time for mid, as long as your top is farming, I think you're pretty happy. Like, again, Akashi's still doing a great job. Gabby has caught up, so maybe you'd want to see some resolution from Talon to resolve that, but look like they might even be able to get away with a Wisdom Rune Seal, although the scan does spot Ponyo.
Yeah, they're going to try. Tims is going to be around with Disruption ready. Ponyo, he will be able to pick it up in time. The Wisdom Rune does get taken both ways to Talon. Now, Tims will continue chasing down Ponyo, but it is really just himself against the Tree and Protector. And Ponyo, I mean, eventually he's going to be okay to walk out of here. Well, I say that, Gabby's going to show off now. Looks like Gabby going to ensure that doesn't happen as Ponyo. He's got 4 stacks of the poison. Here comes Yoe now to try and help out. Ponyo copying a 5th for Tims. Forced to try and disrupt himself to survive, but he's trapped between a rock and a hard place now. Tims, he'll land a 6 stack of poison. The TP away is there from the tree, though it looks like he might just survive. Meanwhile, bottom lane, WS is being targeted. They missed the X turret back. WS eventually should just die. Abed still on the chase. WS gonna get stunned up, and with that, he is down. It took them quite a while though to make that happen.
It took a little bit more time, but that's a bigger kill in comparison to finding Tims up top, so all of that moving out from Talon is nicely punished by the side of Blacklist. They get to scout out the jungle as well, clear out a little bit of this smaller stack that they've made. Supports are feeling frisky though.
Abed. He's in a pretty precarious position now. Ponyo might go down first though. Abed able to secure one, and it seems like they actually cannot hope to kill off the Kunkka. Abed will just TP back towards the fountain. Ultimately gets away with an extra kill. I mean, why the hell not?
A little bit optimistic from Talon to try to gun for that. especially considering they didn't have a roll already on Yoe. The damage output onto the Kunkka would not have been enough. And they get nicely punished. Again, Blacklist managed to clear out at least one medium camp stack and are going to be feeling good about themselves now. Evening out the game, 4-4, less than 1k lead going Blacklist's way. Rather even farm distribution across each side as well. And the only difference is Gabby's the one matching Akashi instead of Raven, but can kind of just farm up as the raid team here as well. Some pressure coming out onto Raven. Still has a value point, the skill point left for that.
I mean, he can't even get it off this time. He just holds on to it, and but the thing was, his team was not TPing, so Talon, they just take a very easy kill once again onto Raven. It's Blacklist rivalry, gets no rotation.
Yep. No moving out, and that's the opening to just siege in. The push from Talon, not the fastest, but they've got the numbers to get that done. So they open up this area down bot to kind of invade. There are some protective wards here from the side of Blacklist. Keep an eye out. But they're going to have to find a different area to farm up. There are some really big stacks built up here by Timsto. And something that the Shadow Demon can achieve, especially in the pause 4. Just to go away.
Mid lane getting caught out. Ice Blast did land. It's very hard to survive with that landing, and Abed able to pick up another kill for himself now on the Kunkka. While Gabby, he'll continue to take all these stacks away. It's kind of the thing, right? Like, this just might be the game plan. Even if Raven can't have a good game, as long as Gabby gets his timing with the Aghanim Scepter, it just may not matter. His bottom lane, WS, this time around may have gone too far. Abed has rotated along with Tims, and this time, WS looks like he will get punished for trying to get aggressive onto Raven. That's a big pick-off now for Blacklist Rival.
Yeah, he had no hope of finding that kill without anyone else around him. Raid King, even with not too many items up in Raven at level 7, it's just a little bit too tanky for you to 1-0. It's so close to tier 2 as well. And Gabby getting free farm on those stacks is pretty much only one part away from the full Ags. So Talon's gotta find a way to deal with that. Like, this diffusal blade of Yoa is gonna be really important. Down the line, you'll want the Ags as well to come out here from WS, just to have that break option. And we're still a long way away from finding anything like that in WS. Blacklist now, man, they've got control. They'll smoke up here.
They will. Up towards the top lane they go. Obviously having a look around for Akashi. Akashi just casually farming that northern side of the map. Pretty standard position here for the position 1 Naga. But Abed's gonna have a look around here at the illusions. We realize they are not the real Nagas. His smoke does not break.
Middle tower is under attack.
Ultimately, Akashi is just slowly drifting away from their grasp. They are still trying though. Akashi now may get spotted by Abed. Ice Blast out. They've got the turret. They've got the boat, and Akashi is just as good as dead. No X necessary.
You can stop calling me now.
At that now, Blacklist, I mean, oh, they are really starting to warm up. Again, Gabby's just 400 gold away from having the full Ags up, and things are looking rather scary now for Talon.
This Ags timing for Gabby's just gonna ruin them. Provides him with a lot of AoE damage from Shopify's end. A decent amount of burst, honestly, after a couple of stacks are up with pulls. You can still manage that Naga very nicely. They are looking to just clear out that top tier 1. Talon, for their part, grouped up around mid, but can't really clear it out fast. Again, the push potential from Talon not particularly high outside of Naga split pushing. And a 7-5 lead now for Blacklist Rivalry. Feeling in control of this game. Like, again, they've managed to get a lot of economy going from the triangle. Talon didn't set up any forward wards to watch that. We didn't see Talon provide any defensive wards as well for Akashi. And I'm surprised it didn't get a read while they were running around bot that a movement would come in from top, as they had vision pretty much over the entire bot jungle. So maybe a bit of a misread from Talon. Punished nicely by the side of Blacklist. And Blacklist, you know, even if they're kind of taking their time in this game, they have hit their stride. Like, as it builds up, Talon's the one, even though it's only a marginal lead now of just 1k, with his Ags coming out on Gabby, it feels scary. If you can get the Voodoo Mask max, not even a full Bloodstone, just a Voodoo Mask, it's going to be a pin to even try to consider killing this Bristleback off.
Yeah. We'll have that up pretty soon. Blacklist Rival recovery. More than happy to take their time with this game. The Naga, it sure feels like it's not going to be too big of an issue with the way this game's going.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Talon, they're going to sit back as well. Allow Akashi the time he needs to get to a stage where he's going to be a real problem. Of course, Yoe has already queued up the Diffusal Blade as well in the Pangolier, so you are going to have some decent mana drain coming out here against the Gabby Bristleback, but whether that makes the difference or not is going to be the real question. Like, I still think this Bristleback is going to be a huge issue here for Taloners. And he's not even the real carry. Like, Arbed and Raven are going to be there soon as well. Bottom lane, we might run into a bit of a fight here. Ponyo going to break the smoke of Arbed, though he's unable to get the X off and does not land the Torrent either. Looks like Ponyo will be okay to back his way out. That's about it. Like, Blacklist are not finding a key target they can really aim for.
Yeah. And Talon, again, using this time to just build up while they can. Get some more going on to Akashi. Try to get this next item up for WS. He hasn't queued anything up on the Primal Beast, so I'm wondering what he's considering. Maybe considering that Ags now. We'll go for the BKB first. Wants to be able to stand forward without being too scared of being pinned down. So we can see if that timing will pay off. 2.3k, not too far away from full BKB, at least 2 parts away. So a little bit more time to wait. And again, this is pretty much the trend for the Southeast Asian games we've casted so far, Mike. It's been a little bit slower in terms of the early aggression.
Yeah.
Just kind of taking some skirmishes, farming up where we can. Teams.
Kansas TP.
Bates out the way.
Does at least pop the Rolling Thunder, so you've got that going for you. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Ponyo just gets deleted by Raven. Yoe just gets nothing on Tim. Tim's is perfectly fine. In fact, now they might even turn this one. You've got the Demonic Purge up and you've got Arbed around the corner. But Yoe does decide wisely to just back out of there. Instead, they'll just kind of regroup with his team. Dokam, on the other hand, may have to experience the Bristleback the hard way as he just gets deleted. My goodness. Yoe. He's not looking too safe either right now. Gabby can just keep chasing if he really wants to. But it looks like he will play it safe. Overgrowth is out. Ponyo, all their onslaught in as well. Gabby dropping low is maybe going to go down, but no, the Torrent, it does save from the Pulverize. Gabby, he will still drop, but they do at least trade with WS. So it still seems pretty decent here for Blacklist. That's without the Bloodstone being up on Gabby yet. Like, once you've got that Bloodstone available, things will get extremely challenging.
You really need to get this full Ags up on Yoe. You just want to have more of those swashes fly out, more of that Diffusal Blade mana burn kick in. I'm a little bit surprised that Akashi is still just gunning for the Orchid for some control here as well. And probably into the Bloodthorn, but it does feel like you maybe wanted a Diffusal on your Naga as well, just going for the classic Manta Diffusal, just so that even your illusions can kind of punish this Bristleback a little bit more. Every single point of mana burned is pretty massive for the side of Talon to try to find that opening up against Bristleback. So we'll see if that is something that Akashi will consider down the line. 2k lead still standing for Blacklist, still in a good position, but Talon grouping up top here.
He's got Reincarnate available. They are going to group of Telewater heroes here. Tims is around the corner in case he's required, but they back off. But they realized they could not burst him down quick enough, and Raven, he was right by that tier 1 top tower, so he did have the rotation point to make from Blacklist, and well, that's going to be a little bit demoralizing, John. I mean, there are 4 heroes running at 1 and they still can't get the kill.
Yeah, it's really hard to commit onto that Raid King right now. They did manage to drop his mana low enough that Reincarnate wouldn't have been an issue, but he did have a full stick. So just enough there for Raven to get through, and they didn't have enough to try to re-burn that, waiting for the next swash up. 2 lives just a little bit too much for Talon to deal with. This is space for both sides. I suppose Akashi has the full Orchid up, so you can start to consider joining his team. They are grouped up around this rune area though.
Pulverize out mid lane. They've got Carlo. Carlo going for a run, does at least get the Ice Blast off before he is set to fall. No will back up there, so they'll lose the position 5 AA. Carlo, not the biggest deal anyway. Just a pos 5 to be lost. However, mid lane, Akashi, looks like he was having a bit of a think about jumping in. But it won't really amount to much.
I feel like that death on Carlo is bigger for the fact that you managed to get the Ice Blast on Ponyo. Like, this is going to be massive for these fights. Helps you handle, on Joe Cam, helps you handle these tanky heroes better.
Well, there it is. They've got Abed. Disruption will save for now, but for how long is the question as Abed? He pops the BKB, but it won't make the difference. Abed is down. WS, he may be the second to fall, but no, they've got Tim's first. Gabby, he would at least find the Primal. Akashi in the meantime going to Song TP away as they do lose Ponyo to boot. It looks like Yoe is still trying for Carlo here on the AA, but Gabby's coming. And Yoe, he might just look to be in huge trouble now. He's got the hand up, he's waving him goodbye, but Raven's right there. But Yoe, he had a TP to play with. He chose not to commit until now, and it is going to cost him. Gabby with the tips out immediately onto Yoe.
Yeah, that's a little bit rash, trying to go for that backline kill, not respecting just how much far forward inside of Blacklist can go. I think he was hoping to swash Blink, but Raven was right in the area with Radiance Burn. So no such play coming out there for Yoe. It looked like it could have been decent for Talon, but with a sacrifice of Yoe, it doesn't feel as good anymore as their mid starts to get sieged here.
Does WS, that's a lot of minus armor now. Disruption will hold him down through the pulverize. Gabby might just keep going. But Ponyo and Joe-Cam both going to show up to help out. They really cannot hope to deal with this Bristleback at the moment. He is just way, way too scary. Just look at Gabby moving in. Joe-Cam almost dying. Disruption will be able to save. It's Gabby just casually still continuing. Joe-Cam in the meantime barely avoiding the Ice Blast from Carlo. But boy, oh boy, they need something for this Bristle.
I did not know that the Bristleback active would still go through while you're under disruption.
Yeah.
And that seems a little bit bonkers.
I didn't know that
I
either.
suppose it makes sense. I don't know. I don't know if it makes sense. You know, that's one thing with Dota2. It's like you can't tell whether something's intentionally working the way it is or not.
Well,
You mentioned you get a scan as to where Atrashi's farm, at least, but
yeah, I mean, to be fair, John, it says it banishes the target unit from the battlefield for a short duration. Apparently not 100% banished. Yeah, the quills are still there. The quills are too powerful.
yeah, I suppose that back is too big.
It's a big
And look
back.
at those spikes. It's a very big back on Gabby, and it's starting to get to be a pretty big momentum lead. Not quite enough work for Blacklist, but they are dictating the game now, starting to invade that Tormentor. Talon, can you contest?
Oh boy. Disruption will save. Joe-Cam's there to save the day again, but Yoe is just gone. Overgrowth committed. More tips coming out, but this is not the fight. Talon need to run. Both coming in, Abed.
WS.
Hello, WS. He'll get caught out. With that, I mean, he's got onslaught in one. Abed has got the X out. WS probably just being brought right back to his team very, very soon if the BKB wears out in time, but no. It won't, but it won't matter. Gabby's still chasing him. No problem. Gabby will wave him goodbye. Oh boy, that's rough. That is rough.
Yeah, that's again a little bit optimistic from Yoe to try to contest into that Tormentor. They don't have vision in the area. Just walks up, gets blasted, gets cold feet. The disruption save can't really save you when you're cold feeted up. No shard up on Joe-Cam yet for the left back. So they make a sacrifice that really doesn't amount to much. Again, the one good bit of news you have is Sakashi's using the space well, has the heart and the Naga, is controlling mid and top and even bot lane, keeping creeps shoved away. So you can't really get a push translation here. For the side of Blacklist, you are keeping the stall game going for Talon. But the lead is growing to be nearly unmanageable. 6k up for the side of Blacklist. You really need us Ags up on Yoe. You need us Ags up on the US. And all of that is a ways off as Blacklist start onto that Roshan.
It's going to be a very quick Roshan of that. No real time to think about contesting this one. It is as good as gone, no matter who takes it, and of course it's going to be Gabby. I mean, Gabby is essentially the real carry right now. Like, there's no two ways about that. He is the big boy. We'll go ahead and clear out some other side lanes, and Ponyo, he's alright. Ponyo's just hanging around in the bot lane, but he's going to be a little bit cautious in this position. Tim's just having a look. Has the dust in one. Does not connect dust though. Ponyo will be able to walk out.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Again, Talon, all they're doing is just trying to keep these creep waves across the river from their side of the map. Trying to keep stalling for time. Keep getting this build up that you need. Not really on Akashi now, but on WS and on Yoe. The Ags have to fly in. You have to have that break. You have to have those additional swashes coming in from the shield crash to try and manage this Bristle if you even want to try to touch Gabby at this point. Ideally, and where you find most success in dealing with Bristleback, is ignoring him. But considering his output right now, it doesn't feel very likely that you're able to safely ignore Gabby in the middle of these fights yet.
It does not feel like it.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I'm just wondering what the game plan is now from Talon. Like, they're still farming very well on Akashi, but
Dire's structures
I bet.
are fortified.
he seems to know the Naga's around. Song's gonna be committed. Akashi not risking it. We'll just go ahead and TP away. But now you know Song's down, so Gabby, he's already found the tier 2 mid tower. You could probably think about the high ground now.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yep. You got that opening for you. Without that Song, it's going to be hard for you to try to bail out from Talon, so it has to be an all-out on defense. They've managed to shove back their waves, with Akashi being taken care of bot. Creeps are finding their way back onto the Talon side of the map. And that makes the game a lot more challenging. Like, they have to play this creep cutting game. They have to use these illusions on Talon's end. Keep stalling out. They can't play into 2 lives of Raven and Gab. And now you have the full Ags up on Abed. So he's able to get the water park going as well.
Ponyo. Yeah, he's as good as gone. Ponyo. Just getting deleted by Gabby. Gabby having a very good time waving at all his friends across the map. Nothing they can do but creep skip at the moment. Akashi is creep skipping pretty well here on the Naga, but it's how much time do you really need to buy in this kind of game where it just feels so one-sided.
And it does so far. I mean, you had some moments for Talon, but this Bristleback's just proving to be too much. And again, it's been ignored for a long time here in the C qualifiers. We finally see it ourselves. It's doing fantastic work. Like this Bristleback and the Wraith King and the Kunkka. Like, it's just too much durability to contend with. Talon, they find a tier 2 up top. They get a slow siege onto that tier 3, but they can't really commit fully. At the very least, they do have, again, an area of the map for Akashi to try to play in. He's pretty much got his Scotty all done. No buyback on the Nagado. So one bad pick-off for Talon. Or at least bad for Talon. The Blacklist is going to be happily singing their way onto the high ground with no concern. Still, they don't push their luck too hard either on Blacklist. Just pull back, try to reestablish their lanes. They need to handle bots still, so just go back. They still have a little bit of time left in the Aegis, a minute and a half. But again, this is time where the Ags are getting built up. You've got the Ags on Yoe, so additional burn with this shield crash swash. You've got the Ags for WS, about 1,000 gold away. And that's time we have to see Talon try to do something off the back of it. Like, if they can't do anything with that break and with the additional man burn, then there's no way this game gets any easier with additional farm after these items.
Radiant are scanning.
Oh, mid lane, Gabby's having a hunt around again. Ponyo, gonna be spotted. He's gonna try for the TP play out, but there's just no hope. There is no damn hope. At least Akashi, he's gonna just try and sneak the Tormentor here on the Radiant side and get something for his team. And that he will. WS now with the shards up. So you've got the rock throw available, which is kind of nice. But, oh, there it is. Doesn't really do too much. So Gabby just casually pushing in the mid wave again into the tier 3 tower. You do have Akashi creep skipping, but they've already pulled a wave over. Seems like Gabby should maybe have enough time for the tier 3 to be taken down, but no. So he just chooses to take the safer route, go through the top lane here with Raven. And Talon, they are basically just playing the split push game and just the avoid game. It's there's really not much else they can do.
No, they have managed to at least wait for the Aegis to expire on Gabby. So they don't have to contend with that. He does have a lot of armor now with the full Shivas being popped in to replace that Aegis though. Killing off Gabby is still a very tall order.
Yeah, it seems quite hopeless. Like it's Blacklist, they continue to back off. Like they are paying respect here to Talon, not willing to throw high ground and throw the advantage they have, but maybe just looking for a big pick off before they can go high ground again. It's going to be a 5-man smoke, or rather 4-man smoke here from Talon, running right towards Carlo, but he's also smoked. So they can't quite see the AA. They don't want to run to their triangle either, because Raven's going to break the smoke on them. They might try anyway. They'll try now, but Gabby's moving in. Raven's happy to man up here in the Ice Blast. Going to fly right through WS. He is not feeling too healthy at the moment. They're still going to try and keep this fight going, but now the boat will fly in. At least Carlo might drop it. No, WS is still trying to get something, but he's the one to go down. They are melting. Talon, and they'll finally pop the song, but Abed is there to chase him down, and well, you've got the X back anyway here up against Akashi. So Akashi is really going nowhere. He is down. The only survivor is Yoe, who will be able to TP away in time, but well, now your high ground is in mega trouble.
Yeah, no buyback still on Akashi. We don't have too many options left. We did see the impact of the Crown Beast Ags. Like that break did ensure that, you know, Gabby isn't invulnerable at the very least, but they just couldn't focus in on damage. A tight clumped up area, both Torrent Storm, the Ice Blast landing near perfectly from Carla as well. This game looks pretty damn over. I don't see a way for Talon to try to come back in unless Blacklist somehow overextend maybe towards the fountain, but they should be able to find 2 racks, probably find all of them, or just focus on the Spear Force if they want to. And looks like Blacklist will play it a little bit safer. Just use Gabby up front, take the mid set of racks first. Maybe not poke any further, but if they wanted to, they could just keep going.
Oh, Abed. Got it stopped there by our Rubik Jokan. Ponyo's the one going down though. Ponyo just deleted immediately as now WS needs to get the hell out. Oh, and he's going to try out to Abed, but I don't think you need to worry about him. It's Gabby you need to worry about, because he's taken the Primal Beast down. Gabby wants to do it all on his own, and now he's underneath the full towers. Surely there's no way he can survive this, but just look at him, man, up through it. He's finally down. And I suppose this might have been the dive you talked about, John. Because now Gabby's down, Tim's is down, in comes Raven, he wants Yoe. Yoe will drop, but Akashi, he's popped the song and he's held down Ahmed. They want the Cooker real damn bad, but he's got a BKB up. He'll go for the tidal wave, dragging them right back into Raven, but Raven's been ensnared up. He'll move in onto Akashi now. Akashi still desperately trying for Ahmed, has the Bloodthorn up now, but doesn't matter. Megas are up in the meantime. Akashi's still desperately trying, but he's been hit by the Ice Blast. He needs to run. Ponyo's down. Akashi is still running, but Raven's chasing him down now. He has the blink up. He just doesn't know which way to go. Carlo? Akashi's still trying to chase somebody down. There's a shield run up for Carlo. Carlo, he's going to bang Akashi forward. Ahmed, he will eventually go for the Naga as Carlo will tip him up. Ahmed. Tidal wave drag back into Raven. Wraithfire Blasters out. They've got the Naga Siren now. They've got the water park going. And it seems like they're literally just playing games with this Naga. And she is finally down. Megas are up. Talon has not called it, but they don't need to, John. The game looks very over to me.
And it does. Not many defensive options left. You're up against Megas. The Skellies get the work done while that fight breaks out. And there's not much they can really do now. I mean, again, it's down to whether or not Blacklist overextend, maybe dive a little bit. I think Talon with their draft have done as much as they could. They had some good, decent answers to make Gabby's first few levels pretty hard, but then they just kind of ignored this Bristleback. And when you ignore the Bristle, sure, you're having good farm on Akashi digging into the jungle, but the Bristle's early timings with Ags is just devastating. It's just not something you can handle, especially with the support team you have here. The Ags eventually coming out on the Primal Beast and on our Pangolier is nice, but it felt like the timings were a little bit too late from some overextensions from the side of Talon's part there. And Blacklist, well, maybe go for a little bit of a reset before fully committing. They could wait. They could clear out the next Roche if they really wanted to. It's a bit unnecessary. And Talon, I don't know. Like, I don't think it's down to this one itemization choice, but it does feel like this Bloodthorn for Akashi is really not achieving much. Like, if you got, again, Manta Diffusal first, use the illusions to just poke Gabby before he had, say, full Bloodstone up, then you might have been able to take some of these earlier engagements even without the Ags coming through. Smoke on smoke, though.
Same position. Raven, no hesitation, already finding Yoe. Yoe still trying to get into the roll-up, does get into the Rolling Thunder now. Meanwhile, WS trying to focus down Tim, but Tim is fine, and now Ponyo, he is gone. WS still trying, WS though just melting to the damage. They've got the ranking eggs up anyway. Everyone's just going to come back for a moment as Akashi, he's trying to run, trying to get out, like he knows it's not the fight anymore, but can he actually make it? Nice man to dodge on the Rangefire Blast, but, well, they've got the Nasal Goo, they've got the Slows, and they've got Akashi's life by the looks of it. GG, they finally caught. There we go. Game 1 to go the way of Blacklist Rivalry. It was a pretty close match for the first 20 minutes, but this bristled back a bit too long.
Yeah, again, it's been ignored in the qualifiers. Perhaps Talon forgot it existed. Blacklist did not. And they